Neely Patel is the editor-in-chief of The Verge and also a CNBC contributor. Good to have you both with us. Neely, I begin with you. Your reaction to what you heard today from Mark Zuckerberg, what was reported?
I think it's what we expected. I don't think there's any sense that Mark was going to take that decision and reverse it in response to employee protests. I think we've been hearing from Facebook that employees have the right to express their opinions. They know that those opinions are going to be not positive towards the decision. But what I think we really heard from Mark and what we've really begun to understand is he wants Facebook to be a neutral platform, but his employees want Facebook to express its values. And I think you've been talking about corporate responsibility all night. The question for Facebook is, where do you express your values? We are beginning to see Twitter strongly express its values as a company in terms of moderating its platform. Facebook has to express its values beyond just free snacks, recruiting programs. It has to express its values in the product. The employees are asking for Facebook to express its values in the product, and Zuckerberg doesn't seem quite ready to take that step.
Danny, how about that thought from Neely? It seems as though Mr. Zuckerberg wants his business to be a platform for people to post whatever they want to, and then it's up to the general public to make their own judgments about what they find on Facebook. Do you think that Mark Zuckerberg wants any of the responsibility that goes into policing what's really on his site?
Well, so that's an interesting question, but I think the important context here is we always have to keep in mind the fact that this is a dictatorship. It's a public company. They have shareholders. They have a board. But Mark Zuckerberg, he has control of the voting shares. He controls the board, and he listens to people. But at the end of the day, the decision is his. And he has long prized, above everything else, size and growth. And when you start expressing your values, like Neely was saying, you start to sacrifice growth because you're going to anger some people. And so he's trying to please everybody, and obviously he's pleasing no one.
On the issue, Neely, of responsibility, how do you think that Mark Zuckerberg thinks about what his role in society should be by virtue of just how large Facebook's platform is and how many people it actually reaches, especially at times like this, at times of crisis?
I will offer Zuckerberg this credit. He is clearly thinking about Facebook's role in society, given its size. He talks about Facebook like a state. He says it transcends national boundaries. He has built a Supreme Court to moderate decisions on Facebook, composed of ex-heads of states, of professors. He is trying to divest some of his decision-making authority in ways that resemble a state, in ways that mimic democratic institutions. But at the end of the day, Facebook is not a democratic institution. It is a company that is controlled by one shareholder who is still pretty young and is faced with a crisis in American democracy. And I think President Trump is not the kind of leader that Facebook and Twitter and other social networks were built to amplify. People go to work at Facebook on the promise that they will change the world. Their assumption is they will change the world for the better. Their assumption is not that everyone will always be mad at them, that they will always be caught in a loop between moderating too much and moderating too little, and that the president of the United States will use their platform to destabilize the country. That is what is happening very clearly. This is not a policy disagreement. This is a president who is bent towards authoritarianism and who is using the Facebook platform to push the country in that direction.
Danny,
I think there is a good reason for employees to push back.
What's so interesting, Danny, is the contrast that's taking place between what's happening at Facebook and what's happening at Twitter from the top chair. And the way that Jack Dorsey has dealt with this issue, the one that Neely is talking about, not only what's put out by the president or anybody else on his platform, but how he views his own responsibility in the conversation.
Well, that's exactly right. And I think what is really difficult for a lot of people to swallow here, especially the employees, is that there's a very blinkered view that Zuckerberg appears to be taking, which is, we can connect the world. We can make it a better place. We can help people find their tribe, so to speak, in a way that was just impossible before. So if you take that side of the coin, you also have to accept the fact that you can also foment social division and undermine democracy. And, you know, Zuckerberg and all of these calls, he always comes back to the fact that, you know, what we are doing is good for the world. And he's really unbending on that. And I think if he was a bit more honest about Facebook's place in the world, I think people would be more willing to give him some leeway to try to figure this stuff out. But it's just, you know, it's a pretty hard line that more connection, the better. And that at the moment doesn't appear to be the case.